Just 2 days before Premier Clark will make the speech to the throne in Victoria, she made her way to Fort St. John to speak to employees at the Site C Dam and promised to fight for their future.
I want people in the Peace Country and across the province to know we are not going to forget about how important these jobs are for people, and we are going to fight till our last breath to make sure that these jobs are preserved and that Site C goes ahead.
The Premier also toured the construction site of the mega project that so far has a price tag of over $8 billion, saying she wanted to clarify the importance of the dam to voters in the South.
I am an unapologetic supporter of this project, and I am a supporter of all of the families, a fighter for the families that depend on it. And my purpose in being here is to learn as much as I can about the individual stories that people have, go and really take a good look at the site and see where it's at and talk to workers there, so I can take those stories down south with me and help people understand why this is important.
Meanwhile, the newly elected 3-member Green Party caucus spent the day meeting with landowners and First Nations who will be directly impacted by highway realignments and the flooding of the Peace Valley. Leader Andrew Weaver says there's no reason a road needs to be built through homes and traditional First Nation lands.
It's just simply rhetoric that is, everything's wrong with BC politics, and it's why the Liberals need to go in a timeout. British Columbians are sick of the rhetoric. They want to be told the truth. They don't want to be told, media lines and spin. And the reality is, this is going to cost the taxpayer billions and billions of dollars to produce power that we will sell at a loss for something like 70, 80 years before we make a penny. I mean, it is the most ridiculous business case that you can imagine.
The NDPs have said they would like to see the project receive a full review from the BC Utilities Commission before it continues, a delay that the Liberals say could cost $600 million and see the project cancelled entirely.
I want John Horgan to know that when he talks about cancelling Site C, he is talking about those people's lives taking a downturn and their kids suffering as a result of it. These are real people with real lives and real jobs, and all of us, I think, have a duty to fight for them, not to try and put them out of work.
The Greens, however, say they would like to see more investments in alternative clean energy industries that could create stable, long-term jobs across the province.
BC Greens understand the importance of those jobs to the people in the community here. But there's other jobs. There's Taylor Bridge for a start. There's geothermal in the area. There's small-scale hydro. There's wind. There's tons of jobs, and there's better paying and more stable.
But the Liberal government says the hydroelectricity produced from Site C is necessary for future generations.
For folks who don't want it to go ahead, many of them are the same people that want to make sure that we're all driving electric cars. If we were to electrify our entire economy in BC with clean energy, we would need 10 Site Cs. So let's get on with one Site C so that we can make that contribution to electrifying our economy for all those people who, want to fight climate change. I 100% agree with them. But I also know the only way to get there is to do things like Site C.
The problem is that what she's doing is now justifying it off the backs of something that it was previously justified for. This was justified for LNG, not for electric vehicles. Like, who are you kidding? A couple of minutes before the throne speech gets voted down in a non-confidence vote, you're suddenly talking about Site C for electric vehicles? Okay, I've been talking about electric vehicle demand for about 4 or 5 years. Where have you been for those 4 or 5 years?
The outcome of what will happen after Clark delivers her throne speech in front of the legislature tomorrow is still unclear, but the Premier says her government has received a mixed message from voters in the North and the South who want to see a better balance between the economy and the environment. She says her throne speech will reflect the Liberal government's willingness to work across party lines. Brendan Miller, CJDC-TV News, Fort St. John.